Welcome back to Wes Berg. He broke his neck last year. He's back racing. It's good to have him here in the Summer of Surf as we take a look at the start list for our REPECHAGE. Top 13 will earn a spot through to the final. We had heats this morning. Top 2 went through. The rest came through to the REPECHAGE here. It's tough racing. These guys are just trying to get a start.
Well, Josh, 13 places will earn themselves a spot in the final. Who will be the one that stands up? There's plenty of positions in this race of 20, but will there be someone who really stamps their authority?
Couple of names here you wouldn't really expect. A couple of the boys you would think had already have got themselves through to the final. Ben Carberry's one of them. He's on the right-hand side, and Carnage in the centre. There's people off. Maybe Jay Finesse. He's gone off. Wes Berg. Oh, he's all different directions. Welcome back to Wollongong, Wes Berg. He's from down the road at Shoalhaven Heads, and he looks like he's learning to paddle the ski for the first time there. He's on and away, not the way he would want to start this Ironman REPECHAGE, but as the rest of the field are already out to the swim cans. And the guy that Wes coaches, Ben Carberry, on the front of this field, putting in an absolute flyer, and Wes is doing his best to get back into it.
Well, he started off in the position he finished off, or further back, in round 4 at Torquay. So Wes Berg is a long way back at this stage, and he's going to have to claw himself back up through this one if he's going to finish in the top 13 for this final.
Finesse was off as well on the left-hand side. Let's have a look at him here. He's punched through that one there, and there might be a little bit of power as, somebody comes over the top, knocks him off there. Not what you want, and there's carnage in the centre there. A couple of the guys from Surfers Paradise as well, copping them in the face. So tough start to the racing here as the rest of the field goes out and over and has no problems at all getting through, and that is not the way you want to start.
Well, Max Beattie, Jay Finesse and Wes Berg, all guys you would expect to be probably in the top 13 well and truly, are all back and fighting for places at the very, very tail of this field.
One man who's been very good, our last round winner at Torquay, Ben Carberry. He worked his way into that race very well. A very different tactic here. He's on the front and not worried about anybody else at the back of the field. TJ Hendy, with man with the famous name and the great reputation of being one of the nicest blokes in surf life saving, trying to get himself through to the final here. And we've got 3 leaders who've broken away. Corey Taylor, you can see him on the right-hand side, white cap maroon star of Northcliffe. Ben Carberry in the centre there as a little wave just starts to peak and they try and get down it. Jay Finesse trying to get back into it after a horror start as well. The 2-time defending Summer of Surf champion, and our leaders are on some runners.
Well, that would be a big upset, Josh, if Jay Finesse wasn't to make the final here at Wollongong. TJ Hendy's put himself into a good spot and he's starting to make his way through. Looks like Jackson Maynard's joined the leaders up in front as well on the final part of this ski league.
Oh, a little bit of drama there on the top. Has to get the nose of the ski out from under, but our 4 leaders, no problems at all. But this isn't where the race is interesting. It's back here. There's another 5 on that. That makes 9. The next wave, maybe Ray Ward there from Kurrawa. He's in about 10th or 11th place and on the cusp. So it's Taylor, Carberry, Maynard there as well. Finesse and Wes Berg have a little chat. Will Budd's in there. So's Isaac Costello. They will come up and around. Max Brooks a lot further back than he wants to be. Taddy McDonald there. Dan Collins doing his best to get up and around. TJ Hendy, Ray Ward there as well. And where is Wes Berg and where is Jay Finesse?
Well, the boys are a long way back. We saw how far back they were off the start, and here comes Jay Finesse. Plenty of speed around the transition, really working into his strong leg now, the swim, so look for him to make a big move now and pull himself back into this race.
Ben Carberry, a great swimmer as well, the national belt race champion from the Aussies up at Maroochydore, so he'll have no dramas getting through the surf here. On his tail, Jackson Maynard, the green and white Currumbin cap. Corey Taylor there as well, finished 3rd at the World Championship, and Nathan Smith, we haven't spoken about him so far. The old sea dog, Nathan Smith from the Manly Club. Good to see him back. We saw Crystal go round earlier, and he is back with a vengeance this summer and be looking to put in a good performance.
Well, again, another super strong swimmer. He's good at all legs, though, so Nathan Smith is always going to be thereabouts no matter what leg it is. Look for him to sit on with these younger guys, allow them to do the work, race very smart, put himself in the top 13 and into that final.
If you're a young athlete, the likes of Nathan Smith is somebody you want to model yourself on. He's good enough to get a medal in the surf race at the Australian Championships. He's won a board race. He had a false start one year where Trevor Hendy got him, but he's won a board race, he's won an Ironman, he's been in ski relay finals and ski finals. That's the kind of Ironman you want to be. Strong across the board, tough as nails, and a nice guy to boot. He is an absolute legend of the sport, and he is back with a vengeance in the last couple of years after having a few years off.
Well, you're not wrong, Josh. He is one of the nicest guys on the beach, but he is also one of the most accomplished. And there's not many people that can say they've achieved the things that Nathan Smith have, and to still be going around at this stage and to still be in the mix is certainly very impressive.
I think he won't mind us saying his age of 55. He's doing a really good job, the old man there. And as he comes around, he's still in fourth place, and on the front, Ben Carberry starting to fly on the way home. He's really pushing the pace, but we've got to remember this is just the repechage. These guys, they're not going to try and use all that much energy. They just want to get enough of a gap to make sure they earn a spot in the final and they don't burn all their matches right here.
Well, a little bit different to the women's race. We're taking 13 through this because there's a different qualifying system from the start. So the men get a little bit more room to move in this race, so to speak, with taking 13 instead of 5. And Carberry can put himself in a position where he probably doesn't have to burn up all his bickies at this stage, but be in a spot where he knows he can't miss out.
If he gets a wave here and goes into the final board leg first, you'd imagine he'd almost be guaranteed to qualify, and ask and you shall receive. He doesn't have the commentator's curse because he's picked up a wave. Someone's gone down it alongside him as well. I think maybe Corey Taylor will wait till they pop up, but Ben Carberry stands up, the big fella. He has had no problems at all, and Corey Taylor alongside him. So the Kiwi man who got third at the World Championships there, Smith in third place, just ahead of Isaac Costello, the man from Redhead, blue cap, yellow stripe down the centre. So as we round them through, 2 of 3 legs done. Carberry from Burleigh Heads Mowbray Park on the front, Corey Taylor from Northcliffe there, Maynard from Currumbin in third, Smith from Manly in fourth, Isaac Costello there from the Redhead Club in 5th. Max Brooks, no problem, in 6th. And if you think about it, we're still chasing 7 more competitors to get around and get into this final. So it's thick and fast. Will Budd's there without an issue. Dan Collins as well. TJ Hendy, Cooper Williams, all of these guys, no problems at this point. But this is where things are starting to get interesting. Taddy McDonald in the orange there. He'll be right on the cusp. Nathan Gray as well. Daniel Rayward, he's got a little bit of work to do, and still no Jay Finesse and no Wes Berg.
Well, Josh, we're watching the front of this race, but it's really back in 12 to 15 where this race really starts to get interesting. Here comes Wes Berg. He's 1 place ahead of Jay Finesse, Max Beattie, who is also 2 places ahead of them. So there's still plenty of quality Ironmen still outside the top 13 and having to make a big move in this final board leg if they're going to be in that final.
A great swim leg from Berg there. I wouldn't have expected him to swim past Jay Finesse, but he definitely did. And to come back from a surfing injury, a broken neck like that, he wants to end his career on a high, and was going to throw it away last year, decided to go one more time, but he's going to need to put in the board paddle of his life to work his way into the top 13 here. He's back to close to where it all began from Shoalhaven Heads, down further south on the south coast, and he's currently training at Burleigh Heads Mowbray Park. And our 2 leaders of the summer of surf in Tannen Linden, and the man in 2nd place as well, Ben Carberry.
Well, there's plenty of talent down there at Burleigh Heads Mowbray Park, and Wes Berg is always doing a good job in terms of putting the young talent forward and trying to produce the next big champion. But it looks like this race at the moment has sort of strung out a little bit. The boys don't seem to be pushing the pace too much. They're happy to sit on, they're happy to ride the wash, get themselves a lift back to the beach if possible, and make it as easy as possible for them to have as much energy as possible for the final.
They've dropped the handbrake here. You've got to be honest. Our leaders have gone, thank you very much, that's enough. There's no way 13 blokes are going to pass me on the way home. So they're really just going to do whatever they need to do to get home. And this is where things are going to start to get interesting. Berg's there, Finesse as well. Max Beattie, he will be expecting to be in the final, I guarantee it. And the leaders, everything's going right for them. Ask for a wave, they get a wave. And Nathan Smith is flying on that blue board. And then on the right-hand side as well, Maynard tries to run down one. But this is where things are interesting. This is where things are starting to go. The boys, stroke for stroke, just trying to earn a place in the final.
It's Cody Innes, he's there as well, Josh. So plenty of boys making their move, but 5 of the boys that are going through are the 5 on this front wave. They've done the work, they've earned their spot, and they can cruise through to the finish line.
I guarantee there'll be no sprint finish for these 5. No big deal. And if there's 5 on the first, there is 6 on this next one. So that is your top 11. There's going to be 2 after this. So we won't bother with this crew. They're not going to sprint up the beach. And have a look at Corey Taylor there and Ben Carberry walking up the beach, fixing caps. They got smiles on their faces. Not a smile on Wes Berg's face. He knows he's got to go now. He needs a wave. Just gets one and maybe cuts someone off there. And all these guys are through to the final there. Cooper Williams as well as Nathan Gray. He's in 12th, and this is where it's at. Taddy McDonald from the Northcliffe Club. Wes Berg going head-to-head. What about this? Jared McDonald trying to get him on the inside, but Berg's long legs have just got the advantage so far. They're not going to catch them. Berg grits the teeth, puts their head down, gets across the line, earns the final spot in the final there. Wes Berg and Jared McDonald misses out by 1 in 14th place. So heartbreak for the man they call the Tadpole there from Northcliffe as we take a look at our top 13 qualifiers. And they don't get anything for this but a place on the start line in our final against a number of competitors who had a rest. So things are going to be interesting.